Hello, sport fans. Well, we're not going too fast here, but what the heck? This is your textbook. No need to rush that. All right, so we have our command. We're going to run our command, execute non-query. That's how you do an insert, update, or delete. We're going to open the connection, run the command, update the grid views, grid view data on the web pages. And then we're going to close the connection. We're done. So the next step is to add the input parameters. And here you have to be pretty careful. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is awfully repetitive. And if you ever feel it's repetitive, that means you've learned it. So that I hope you have that feeling pretty soon. All right. So it's complaining because I don't have the end with. So what's a with end with in Visual Studio rather than have this long term at the beginning of line 207, 208, 209, etc. inside the with and with all these columns, all those rows of code, all would have to have these two terms in front of it. And if I were to put those there, it would look very messy. See, now you know why we use this with statement so it doesn't look like this. All right, so now we have to just be careful. All right, so the product table is auto increment, so the product ID is auto number, so I have to worry about that. So we're going to get product name from the text box. So we just have to figure out what's the name. All right, so category ID. The @ sign, if you ever see the @ sign here, it's above the 2 on the keyboard. If you ever see that in SQL or let's call this Visual Studio coding or ASP.NET coding, it means it's a variable. Actually, that's the SQL variable. So you have to give it you have to use the name of the SQL input or output parameter. So these are the input parameters, and one of them's an output parameter. So we got category ID. Oops. Stock quantity. Cost, preferred vendor ID. Dun, 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 dun. Feedback. So that one's special. So we'll push that down there. But again, I like to go from the bottom up or from the right to the left. It seems to be that it works better as far as IntelliSense not getting in the way. If you go from, sometimes if you go from up down, there are a lot of these little things pop up which are annoying. All right, where does the category ID come from? RBL categories dot selected value. So what's a selected value? What's a selected value? Oops. The value, so they're going to select the word clothing, and the value associated with the clothing is 1. So whichever item is selected, which by the way is the selected item.text, if in case we need to use that word, clothing, HABA, appliances, we're going to get the value for that text. So we're going to use the selected value. Same with the preferred vendor ID. That's the other one, RBL. Oh boy. Oh, this guy. The line above messed it up. Alright, so that's RBL vendors. See, the RBLs are kind of, see, this is why taking the time to name things is important. When you're looking for your controls are easy to find. They're where you expect them to be. Alright, so the stock quantity is going to come from a text box. Quantity dot text. Cost txt cost dot text. So the data is actually in the dot text property of the text box. So don't forget the dot text. But that's numeric, right? So let's convert to decimal. I see that's long, so we could just use the shortcut CDEC. Convert to decimal. Yep, so that parenthesis is for that, and this parenthesis is for that. So 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. No, I'm not Cena. I'm bored. Alright, so we're going to get a value out of the radio button lists. We're going to get text out of the 2 text boxes, but we have to convert them to a number because these are numeric data types, and we don't have to do anything to the text box. We don't have to convert it to a number. It's a word. This is new. When you have an output parameter, that's data coming back from the stored procedure. So we should use that a lot. We should have lots of different messages being fed back. That's called interaction, and we'll use it for validation that the process worked, or and it's some type of error message. But you could use this to your great advantage to make your systems a lot more responsive and, dare I say, human-like. Especially if you need to bring alert to some condition that the system found, you can send a nice message back to the web page. All right, so, and again, we're going to put this, whatever value comes back from the stored procedure, we're going to show it in this text box here. All right, so again, we're adding a new parameter. Now this is different. We're not providing a value. So some control or radio button list, the text box on the form is not providing a value to your command. So it's not add with value. But it's gonna get its value from the stored procedure. So the stored procedure, we set it up to be text and varchar 100 letters. So this is how you do it. You give it a name, just like we gave the rest of these a name, comma. So when you hit the commas, it tells you with this IntelliSense what goes next. And this is a perfect thing to put into some chat program. you get something out of order or something. All right, so the data type is text and varchar 100, and the direction of it is output, which means it's going to take the value from the store procedure and send it back to this web page. So we are ready to run this. We just have to handle the output that came back from our store procedure running, and it's going to be the term product saved or product not saved. So this is an output parameter. So we create the command, we add input and output parameters to it. The adding the output parameter is a little bit different because you're not getting the value from the program user. All right, so then what do you do it? So you open the connection, run the command, which runs the store procedure, which runs the SQL statement, and then there's our command. So this output parameter, so that's the name of the command, cmd add new product. So this command dot parameters, which one? So that's how you can pull the value out. So the parameter dot value, let's put it in a string just to make sure. It's probably not necessary, but you could say probably just dot value, but that's how I learned it. So just in case, but turn it into a string, put it in a string variable, and then response.write is the same code here, which just writes text into the upper left-hand corner of the screen. That way you see it. I would not ignore any error messages that you see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, which are generated from this try catch. By the way, a try catch is like, hey, try this code. And all of this code is like vulnerable and may not work. So then catch any error and then show it in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Response.write. I did see some people use this try catch in SQL. That's something worth researching. Good job. So we're gonna not only put the feedback in the upper left-hand corner of the screen using this response.write, we're also going to put it in our text box. So that's about the same thing, but it's right in your face. And we could change the font, or change the color of the text in the text box. But pretty much open the connection, run the insert statement, get the feedback, and put it into a local variable. By the way, where'd that local variable come from? We made it up here. Dim, which is a local variable, string. It's a string variable. It's a string, variable, which means I started with str. Decimal variables, I start with dec. Integer variables, I start with int. That's all Boolean and date. That's all we use, or that's all I'm going to use. All right, so open the connection, run the insert statement. Hey, get the feedback, make it a string, put in the local variable, and then show it at the top of the screen and in my text box, and then go and run refreshes on all the grid views.